Bit of a late start. Hello, Bernie. My tummy hurts. Hopefully it doesn't become an issue. Steam? 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 Show me the video games, Steam. Decent, it's Tuesday. Hello, Spiffy. Hello, Teeson. Steam maintenance. No! Alright, let's find where I put the icon for the game.
You swindled me.
Come on, it's gotta be somewhere. I found it. So hi, Jingle. I have to get everything back up. You did that because you were high as fuck? I mean, you know, that's fair. That's a normal thing to do. Whoa, the game? Have I found the enchanted ceremonial obsidian curved dagger of Melogram Kalux yet? Not yet. I thought that was the game. I forgot we had drip at our last meeting. Let's see. Old Drippy. We can read case files. That's the handwritten note from the fridge. Corpse photo. Let's see, where are our case files? It's been a hot minute. We can pass the time while Mr. Everard is helping us find our gun. That last one doesn't rhyme. There's a cat outside my room meowing. Ledger is under tools.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner. Oh, and an incredibly cool piece of kitchen tissue is stuck to the back.
Alright, I believe we're big enough brain to do this. We've restored enough, brain power.
Yes, you can piece them together using
Yes.
the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB41. Then, date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 41120111700, The Next World Mural.
Sneef. HDB 41.
Why, yes, your precinct number is 41.
HDB.
Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials.
But my name is Raphael.
Harry Dubois, HDB.
What the fuck?
Still feels like there's something missing from that.
What if 8 Oddworld said, "This is Revishal North"?
No, the alphanumeric begins with HDB.
How long does it take to read one of these Raphael stamped cases?
Fine. It takes about half an hour for you to piece one together. Mr. Raphael, which one do you want?
Well, I gotta know about the square bullet hole
It
murders.
would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull.
You're pretty...
Staring at the wall.
Thank you.
Her mouth agape. That's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead.
Ham bam dam dam. Ham kablamswa.
Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next? Don't worry. One day.
Damn. Time moves fast. The next world
This one
mural.
is relatively easy to reconstruct.
Come on the
Overnight,
ledger.
on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Couronne. The mural is enormous.
Whoa.
2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their form reads, "True love is possible only in the next world. For new people, it is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class." People call it that thing and that fucking thing.
Oh, that
It's
fucking
visible
thing.
for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. You and your partner are assigned to the case. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the bell lectures have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the next world mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown.
Wait, do I ever find out?
The case files do not show you finding the author of the design.
Damn.
The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal.
Well, we were hunting Batesy
citing
at one
public
point.
support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite organized by you and the rest of Row 3. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villa Lobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options.
Jamrock would be a good name for a music festival. Alright. Wreak havoc on the middle class. Let's keep the mural.
A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next world for new people, and it is too late for us.
All that remains is to wreak havoc on the middle class.
In any case, it appears to have been a rare case of civil activity in the quarter, and agreement as well. What do you want to tackle next?
The unsolvable case. Wait, no. The couch in an unexpected location.
Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. They were young, and they thought they looked cool on it.
They looked really cool, though.
Yes, as you said here, insufferable rock and roll assholes. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn sofa, or couch, or whatever it was. They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations. They took it to where they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes, and drank coffee because they felt it's intellectual.
Whimsical.
Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did. So congratulations to you. Case solved.
Did I catch those guys?
You didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing
Super Cop
around
did it
couch
again.
assholes. You have a real job to do. What next?
You have a real goddamn job. Murder at the hookah parlor.
Murder. Tum 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 at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills.
Damn, we're
who
getting
is
into
now
late
dead,
night with this.
of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor.
Oh, okay. Wait, how'd he die?
Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner J.M., only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the hookah parlor.
Alright, I wanna know.
Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve. Was doing it solo. Said it was a real nutcracker. A real brain twister.
Brain twister.
Was on it for, like, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more.
I like our
racking his
ledger's,
brains,
like, dialogue.
running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had.
Was he a good cop?
No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor, too.
Use my
The
cop
worst
finger
jokes
ability.
you've ever heard. Really rapey.
Oh, no.
Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about.
Cop named Finger.
Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere.
He
and
sucks
you
ass.
Look into it. Here's the
Finger
setup.
Sunset.
A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day.
Can you get high off it?
No, it's soot and water vapor. It doesn't do anything.
Sounds stupid.
Yeah. So anyway, young man in his 20s.
We'll find out in
with
the
his skull
secret good
busted
fourth
open,
Sherlock episode.
Right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else is in there. Only client that day. In perfect health, too. Some kind of movie producer.
A movie producer in his 20s?
No one enters. No one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a
Someone
regular.
killed Seth MacFarlane.
No calls, nothing. Just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be?
Bad cop was Joseph Mills.
Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin. Movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Tables low, heavy, really sharp edge.
Oh, he just fell over and died.
See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
He was doing there for 6 hours?
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, that was Murder at the Hookah Parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed piecing it together. Next.
Breakthrough imminent. Okay, hang
Not
on.
much has changed.
We got a breakthrough.
The precarious world.
We have a thought.
How not to lose. It is impossible not to. The world is balanced on the edge of a knife. It's a game of frayed nerves. You're pushed on by numbers and punitive measures, pain, rejection, and unpaid bills. You can either play, or you can crawl under a boat and waste away. Turn into salt, or a flock of seagulls.
Hello, Randy.
Your enemies would love that. Or you can fight. The only way to load the dice is to keep on fighting.
Critical success and failure thresholds lowered by 1. Now we're going to get a lot more critical failures and successes. Although I think functionally that just means more critical successes. You like the art for Precarious World? Yeah. I feel it. I have 3 skill points. I should probably put on another one. Some kind of superstar. It's a kind of low research time. White Morning. We still gotta assert authority to Titus. Maybe rigorous self-critique would give us some authority. It takes some away for a bit. I have talked to the cryptozoologist's wife. It will not give us authority. Cop monk like an inquisitor? I guess we should also just put some points into authority to begin with. We'll do one right now.
It's the ledger you owe, and an arson, petty theft, spousal abuse. Handwritten logs on dozens of investigations date back to January 51. You don't exactly. It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised.
Just do one
Which
so we
one
can
do
retry
you
if we need
want?
to. Let's try the unsolvable case.
AKA Leslie and Burke.
Some rhetoric so we can
AKA
convince the container
the
to
public
open.
indecency drunk and the property damage drunk is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable. You were so drunk, you didn't remember what it was when you signed on. That, or you were high.
That sounds like me, yeah.
Leslie
This
will
case
always
happened 2
take his
months
pants
ago.
off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man, and you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which, in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression.
I'm working on it. Can we just keep him off the
You would
streets?
think that, But you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition because that's where the action is. Threatening, fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder.
Damn it.
You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
Public indecency.
Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger.
Play all. Yeah, play all's a little loud. I should probably give a warning. Hello, water.
He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. You're drunk out of your mind on potent Pilsner. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face. Then you proceed to beat him unconscious with it.
Play all is what's going on in Cousteau's head at all times at max stats. Activate a ghost hurricane in the game.
In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke.
Oh wait, no, that's us.
Kill them. They broke it.
Calm down.
He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore. Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke. Who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved.
We did it!
Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Does that sound like a Raphael something Cousteau to you, sir?
Yes!
Fine then, you've earned it. Not much has changed in the meanwhile.
Detective Cousteau.
Still
Conceptualization -2. An idiotic idea. When you say it, it feels like you're taking a bite of lemon meringue while sitting on the terrace of a seaside cafe. I do got 2 skill points. Volumetric shit compressor. Yeah. It's because we have our shit together. No one has ever had their shit together more than us. Also, it's 2 in the morning. We should probably go to sleep. Regrettable inaction as it is.
The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too inviting. But it's yours. You've earned it. The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep.
Detective Cousteau squeezed his butt cheeks for 30 minutes, so now he's incredibly together.
Here we are again, my broken bud. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating, brother man.
Why?
It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep, you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it.
Imogen
Your
Heap.
belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender.
The
You
family.
wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety. But you cannot, because of the pain.
And there's a lot of it, ever present in your organs. It's like every one of them has their own nasty song to sing.
I'm an artist, and liver damage is my art. I think I need medical attention.
Oh yeah, baby.
Harry has a
Frame
fart
your
organ.
suffering as a masterpiece. Only one problem. No one's watching. It's boring, buddy. Boring as death. You're just stuck here, in the half-world. Could try looking at other people. Really looking. But why would you want to start doing that?
I'm looking at other people all the time. I like them.
Sure you do. They're all so friendly, aren't they?
This is the world's most advanced choose-your-own-adventure game.
Some of them are nice. Others are scared. At
Thank you,
least
Volition.
they're interesting. Each one has a process just like yours, running in the space between their ears, full of secrets.
They all have the voices in their heads.
People are beautiful, statuesque, parodies and tragedies of themselves. A great democracy of creatures.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts! You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you.
Let it. Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your bearings. Rock and roll.
Another fruitful sleep.
Guard the field.
This is how I'm sleeping lately. When did we turn into Heisenberg? It's a brand new day! Kim, I think I've made the best breakthrough in this case so far. I'm gonna get the body down, Ethan. Hello, Kim.
Yes?
Can I help you?
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
Is your husband some kind of
Oh,
scientist?
yes. a zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise.
It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends.
Come on, Kim. We can go
That's,
past the
one
waterlock.
opinion, yes. And people are entitled to their opinions.
She's used to playing off such insults casually, but they still affect her.
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct.
If you had a
or
nickel for every
even
game I've streamed with the
fictitious.
detective with split personality disorder and uncertain sanity, you'd have 3 nickels. When we get to Lost Judgment, we'll see if it becomes 4.
Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless, and frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting
Being a detective
real
is hard.
research.
Maybe if I brought her husband back, she would tell me some cool cryptids. We can always try it again, though.
You're an enthusiastic idiot, but you're still an idiot.
I want to know everything about cryptids. Living cryptid, extinct cryptid, marine cryptid, land cryptid, bring it on.
We don't have time for Cryptozoology 101. Let's get back to work, shall we?
AI, the Somnium Files. That's another one to look forward to at some point. Titus is still here. Homeboy's been drinking all night.
Behind the dock workers,
It's
a
not
cedar
time
height
yet.
window.
I'm gonna love Date. I already love Date. And when we get to Yakuza 7, we're gonna love his goofy voice. Oh, if only we could play pinball. Now this is important. I gotta go get my dice. Oh god. Kim, I can't see. I think I've gone blind.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die? Excellent. That will be 10 real for one set of magnetic dice.
Yeah!
This was an especially fun set to make.
Dazzling. It's like you have a pair of tiny disco balls in your hand.
Hell yeah. Get you a D6. 10! $1. This game's like scroll bar is messed up. Zach, do you remember the movie Alien? Directed by Ridley Scott? It was dark like this.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red.
Our disco dice will help with 2 checks later. Nice. So we're not flashing our flashlight in everyone's face.
There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right?
Case solved.
Cracked it. All in a good day's work.
Wait, what did I crack?
What do you mean, what did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is.
It's the missing husband.
Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell the working class woman. Protect and serve, recruit.
Give me champagne. I'm
There's
going in.
no need for champagne when there's honor, recruit. Go and tell the working class woman what you found, right now.
Hey, working class woman. I have found your husband.
God damn it, I already told you. My husband isn't missing.
You said you didn't know where
And
he
I
was.
specifically added that I didn't need to know where he was.
Well, I found him.
Very well then. Where is he?
Our hammer-toting comrade was at the bottom of those stairs.
Excuse me? I don't follow. Right, 'cause working class women come with alcoholic husbands. You know what?
What?
You were right. I do have an alcoholic husband.
Oh.
Although not that one.
Ha, Blam. Knew it.
I did, and he is. He's also an alcoholic.
So he's missing.
No, he's not. Or maybe he is, I don't know. He's probably in the park, or in Shamrock somewhere.
This
drinking
quest is the
with
funniest,
his
I promise.
friends. I haven't seen him for... Well, to hell with him.
I'm gonna find him and bring him home.
She sighs, but you can detect a slight hint of gratitude and relief from her face.
All right, go ahead. Do you have any questions?
What does he look like?
Honestly, not that different from you.
He's disco?
Oh, thank God, no. It hasn't come down to this yet. Well, he's slightly chubby.
With the trunchbull.
Wait, did she just imply that you're fat? You're not fat. The body type she's referring to is called a Franco-Nigerian hard body.
What you meant to say is we both share a Franco-Nigerian hard body. She's gonna make you eat a chocolate cake in front of the whole school.
Both share what?
Softly round, yet still in shape. Ladies dig it.
I'm not sure about the rest, but softly round sounds about right. He's not in great shape. What else? He was wearing a dark brown leather jacket with a bright blue inner lining.
Dark
The
brown
lining
leather
is
jacket.
hand-sewn. I made it myself. It's his cool jacket. God knows it's too cold to run around in this, but he refuses to change.
Who cares about the cold when you have your cool jacket to wear? You can completely sympathize.
I understand.
I even tried throwing it away once, but he just dug it out of the bin. Can you believe it?
Oh, if it's that cool.
Well, what can you do? I hope that at least that extra lining helps him keep warm at night. I wouldn't like him to catch cold.
When'd you last see him?
Yesterday morning, he went to the library. He went to retrieve my book, and he promised he'd walk straight back home. Because we talked about this. We talked about not wandering off again. I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do with his addiction. Just makes me feel weak.
Gone for around 36 hours then.
Oh shit.
Damn, this is a missing persons case. She turns away from you in an attempt to recover.
So you are going to look for him?
I will bring him back home.
Thank you. Please do. Even though I'm sure he will return home by himself. I'm still sure of that.
She tries to maintain a brave front, even though her eyes reveal the opposite.
I'm sure he will too. When he does, would you let Precinct 57, Kim Kitsuragi, know?
I will. Of course, officer. As I said, it's probably nothing.
I have brain thoughts. Loose 87, Radio City. Seems important. Jean Kaus, from Iguania. She ain't nothing to me. Let's see what it's on the to-do list for today, aside from finding the working-class husband. We can go see if the water lock's working. It should be. What's going on here?
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque. You grab the handle and pull the lever up. As soon as the metal connects against the contact pins, you hear a loud clunk. Then, the water lock starts moving.
Whoa! Yeah! We did it!
Okay, if we ever need to get to the coast, then this is the way. But please, contain your wanderlust for now. I don't want us to get sidetracked, not with everything that's going on.
Focus on one thing, achieve it, then the next, he thinks. That's the task chain.
Brave new world to explore. Radio relay. Crate. At least it looks like a crate. Oh, it's not a crate. But you are. Magnesium. Jamrock Biker Sunnies. Biker Cop Sunnies. Let's see. This would cancel out our +1 logic. But would it give us 1 empathy? Do we have enough brain power to sacrifice our logic like that, though? I think we're pretty balanced as is right now. Come on, Kim, frolic through the sand with me. What's this?
This is it. The scene of the party. The fire pit. Cigarettes and empty bottles all evidence it.
Don't you mean the scene of the crime?
Not as such. I'm talking about what came after the party scene. Looks like they were here a while, judging from all the bottles. The sunken motor carriage provided them a focal point, like a goose ice sculpture or a chocolate fountain.
Looks like it.
Looks like I had a great time.
Hey, let's keep moving, detective.
Kim, you have no imagination.
A banged-up motor carriage lies half submerged in the icy water, slowly sinking into the Insulindian Ocean. Only the cabin top, rear wheels, and the engine remain visible. It must be cold and lonely down there in the icy water.
Man, someone's a bad
Has
driver.
already started to corrode the metalworks.
It appears to be so. I agree. We should definitely investigate.
You get a sudden, sinking feeling. Stomach acid comes up as you look at the motor carriage in the deep, dark, cold water.
What kind of idiot drives off into
Why
the
the
ice?
doom and gloom? It's just a sunken motor carriage. Some motor carriages are bound to end up in the sea. The motor carriage is properly stuck in the ice. Getting it out would require a team of specialists. A single day in the salty seawater would ruin most vehicles, but this one looks worn even in places the salt water hasn't touched it.
What's the make of this, MC?
The logo is too deep in the murky water. You can't make it out, but you do see a monkfish float by.
How long's it been
The
here?
ice hasn't closed around the vehicle yet. My guess is it's been here since last Saturday or Sunday.
Well, well, looks like Jacob Ur's journey came to an abrupt end here.
Your mocking tone finds no response, but the motion of the waves.
Yes, yes, crazy recklessness.
Yes. Crazy recklessness. I'd say it has been here since last Saturday or Sunday. Let's wait for the low tide and see what's inside. I don't know. An hour or two, tops?
Last Saturday
As
or
you sit
Sunday,
down
huh?
in the old, rusty playground, the world around you becomes very silent.
Aw, we're playing on the swing set.
The hinges creak under your weight, dangerously so. Nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky, echoing like distant laughter. Ice cracks around the blue motor carriage in the sea.
Whistle a tune. No, we're wearing minus drama. We'll come back to it, maybe. Although, Free ball it!
The tune on your lips
Yeah!
forms a strange yet undeniably beautiful contrast with the surrounding bleakness. The lieutenant gives you a quick
Heal
glance.
morale.
Then, still looking straight ahead, he joins you with a higher pitched and slightly more melodic trill. The wind blows. In the distance, behind
Getting
the
a little
church,
homosexual
some
activity in
vagrants
here.
are having an argument over a bag of tear they found in the reeds. Further away, a flock of seagulls lands. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed. Looks like this might take a while. Time to present a good topic for discussion.
So is your dad also, you know... Would you rather sit on an anthill for an hour or stand in a river of leeches?
Well, historically, leeches have been used to prevent and even cure many ailments.
Clouds on the horizon grow darker, and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the distant rumble of the city. 30 minutes pass.
Alright, if you have to choose, Strikers or the shipping company?
Luckily, I am already a member of an independent organization, and therefore do not have to choose between a rock and a hard place.
This is foreshadowing for the leech mission. If someone puts a gun to your head?
Your voice echoes on the water, strange and out of place in the environment. 30 more minutes pass.
Did you make out the mark?
I've been able to make out the mark ever since we arrived. I find it odd that you haven't. It's a Capri, Model 40.
Well, not everyone's a car, man.
Yes. Why haven't you?
It is a simple and rugged machine, favored by working men, government offices, firefighters, animal control people. You know, those kinds of people. Yes, 41. What do you think it stands for?
Rub your temples. You're getting a horrible headache. Kim is being so patient. This street racer is quite the ladies' man.
Right. Or 41 is the number of a police precinct. Your precinct.
A massive pit opens up in your stomach, and the most terrible feeling comes over you.
Oh no.
You feel like you're about to faint and fall off the swing. Your hands get clammy, and the air tastes sour to breathe. Oh God, Harry. Oh God, Harry. What did you do?
What did you do, Harry?
No. Just nope. Say no to this, Harry.
I'm afraid so, yes. It looks like you drove your police motor carriage into the sea after you jumped across a canal.
I can still fix it.
That is very unlikely. All the electrics are toast. That goes for the electromagnetic steering and brake systems as well. You'd be lucky
can tell
to
that
find
from here?
one undamaged component in there. In a few months, there will be nothing but rust left of this vehicle. It'll be cheaper to buy a new one. Well, not cheaper. This motor carriage costs 40,000 real. But in the long run, it still makes more sense to buy a new machine than try to refurbish this.
This is a disaster.
Let's face it, this is a substantial loss to your district's budget. I mean, my station only has 4 other vehicles in addition to my kinema.
Maybe I was in pursuit of someone.
Of whom? I don't think so. If anything, you were probably drunk.
Probably. Try definitely.
Breakthrough imminent. How do we get it out?
Detective, we don't. A rescue operation really isn't viable at this point.
Just gonna be there?
I'm
But
afraid
what
it
if we
will
were
have to
in
be there
pursuit?
like that for many years. Look at it. Parts of it might be salvageable, but overall, this machine is a write-off.
Okay, how much tear can I get for it at the machine? Things were
You
going
can
so
still
well.
whistle. Besides, the night is always darkest before the dawn.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and doesn't say anything. There is also a 4th thing you've lost.
Oh no.
More precious than the gun, the badge, and the motor carriage combined. Lost forever into the deepest of seas.
My wiener!
People are more valuable than machines. Training a police officer is even more costly.
People, yes, but not you.
Rude.
Yes, let's go take a look.
Well, we found the traffic hooligan. Unfortunately.
Cousteau. Monsieur Cousteau, the reward for coming up with your classy new name has arrived. What are the attributes Detective Cousteau should gain in? Obviously, savoir-faire and esprit corps.
This thought is
You know
very
exactly
ironically
what
timed.
they do and what those words mean. They're refined, like you. You have a ton of that fancy stuff. And if the world can't accept Raphael Ambrosius is your name, you will always be Detective Cousteau to yourself. R.A. Cousteau. Sophisticated culture detective. Specializes in ancient things and art.
We are a big brain cop. We're very fancy. This one sounds fancy. Let's have this. This one too. French skills only. We have a jacket. Same esprit de corps, but also visual calculus instead of shivers. Well, we have fair amount of shivers already. We need some visual calculus. Thick blue piece of acrylic covering a thin leaf of paper. Already disintegrating inside.
A police badge on which you see the photo of a man. You. Some seaweed is stuck to the back.
I found my badge.
At least something good came out of all this.
Encased between two durable plastic sheets is a bluish card with lines of information and a watermark in the shape of the street grid of Revachol West.
Kinda looks like Rich Evans on the badge.
You see a photo, a name, a rank, a document number, the date of issue, and, in the lower right corner, your precinct. The man keeps winking at you with his green-grey eyes. The photo is old, no doubt about that.
How old?
8, maybe 10 years. The guy in the picture is rather good-looking. He's got a nice haircut and is distinctly lacking in massive sideburns. What do you think? His face is already contorted by the expression, although it looks less grotesque on him than it does on you now. It looks better on him because he isn't in as much pain while producing it as you are now. Although there's already a hint of that pain, certainly. Don't be fooled. The bad times have already begun.
No.
The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it, and a shining watermark.
Harrier Dubois.
Harrier? That's long for Harry. So you are Harry. Evrard was half right. Probably not a lot of people know your full name. Whoever told him you're Harry Dubois didn't.
Strange. It doesn't say Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau.
Not strange at all. Your name is Harrier Dubois, like it says on your police badge.
What kind of name is Harrier?
It's a wartime name. Revolutionary. The kind mothers give their sons during troubled times, like Undying or Boxer or Ironhide.
I've never met this man in my life.
It's meant to keep you safe. From bullets, hunger, shrapnel, kidnappings, and worse.
How can I accept it when I've already internalized my cool name?
Why? It's a cool name. I like it. Besides, you're Harry anyway. No one's ever called Harrier.
He's not going to call you Harrier. He'll keep calling you officer when he's angry with you, and detective when he's not. The badge in your hands shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information.
Rank. LTN. Tijfer.
Lieutenant W. Freighter.
What's Lieutenant D. Freighter?
The lieutenant is a rank above sergeant and below captain. It's the highest rank in the RCM that still does field work. I am a lieutenant.
Kim has been calling us officer/detective this whole time.
The title of Freighter is added to your rank when you decline a promotion to a higher rank. In your case, captain. You have declined twice.
Mostly officer.
Therefore,
No!
Freighter. There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precinct's décomptage might be taken, or sometimes promoted officers do not want to replace their superiors out of respect. And sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available to their current rank, in your case, lieutenant.
Heavy-duty case-solving machine.
What's a décomptage?
Décomptage is the hierarchical system employed by the Revachol citizens militia. It means counting down to twos. The lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are the patrol officers, then sergeants, lieutenants, then a captain. That's basically it, except for a few kings.
What kings?
Kings like satellite officers and the additional freighter rank I already explained.
The long and short of it is, You're his superior.
You've been putting up with all my bullshit?
No, I've been putting up with you because despite an unconventional approach, you are doing good police work.
Aww.
It matters more than driving your motor carriage into the sea. And now we've even found your badge.
He
I love
trusts
you too, Kim.
for now. Try not to spoil it. Such a small yet precious thing. Expensive paper caught between thick
Kim,
plastic,
point.
like a fly in amber. It reads.
That's just the serial number. Revachol, Jamrock, Precinct 41, with some numbers thrown in there for good measure.
Some numbers. The option to hug Kim.
4 months ago. I'm guessing that's when you were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant W. Freighter. A new badge usually comes with a new rank. You seem to have been doing well then.
Best you can do is racist remark.
The pain in your chest tells you you were working yourself to death to earn that rank. The case created a lot of edge you have to take off. The death march really gets us going. A lot can happen in 4 months, especially in winter. The winters are never easy on you. Of that you are sure.
Precinct 41?
Yes, it's the designation of your precinct. 41, like mine says 57. The 57th is mostly industrial harbor, a lot of asphalt. The 41st is...
What?
It's a tough station to work in. You have all of Jamrock to cover. That district should have 3 precincts, but money is what it is.
It's no wonder you are like you are, he thinks. But then again, it's a legendary district, and a hell of a station too. It must be an honor and a curse to work with people like Price, McCoy, Berdiaeva.
McCoy?
he knew all those people, although they're not from his station. They must be big. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it, and a shining watermark.
We've made a breakthrough. But where's the cryptozoologist? They lead away from the accident. There is much to explore here. You can clip into the boat a little. It's a big area over here. Lady.
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone.
Whoa!
He can't be more than 5 years old.
Little baby.
The other one looks indistinguishable from him. He watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth.
You guys look identical.
The stone-kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden, as if that's something to be scared of. The obvious fact that you just stated.
He looks just like me.
Yeah, I said that.
The boy doesn't answer. His brother throws another rock. Both of their hair is covered in some kind of dirt. The rock kicker was just being shy, but now he's enthusiastic again.
You're bad with kids.
What are you, Kid Master General?
Maybe I am. Now, how about some actual police work? We are not getting anything here.
The kids don't reply, absorbed in their little game.
Kim is confident in his ability to talk to kids.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts.
Oh,
Then how does she know you're here?
I still have a golden ear. Come, come. Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here. And we don't want any trouble either.
we're not here to cause trouble.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
That's what I said. We're cops, we're hellraisers. Click, click, bang, bang.
No, you're not. I've seen you around here before. 12 years ago. You didn't raise any hell. You were quite helpful, actually. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen.
What kind of ill omen we talking about?
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. Black hound.
That's you, all right. A black hound licking your own heels.
Wait, I've been here before?
No, not you personally. I meant the RCM.
See, Naruto dodged her
Some
finger
of
guns.
the men got into a fight. One of them killed another. Locked himself in that woodshed over there. He was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it open for him and took him to think about what he'd done in a more secluded place. Somewhere more quiet.
She says it as if he was on some kind of spiritual retreat.
If I'm an ill omen, why hasn't anyone told me that?
Maybe they are afraid.
Why?
Because you're an ill omen.
Oh, that makes
But you're
sense.
still welcome here, as long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then, because that's the kind of fishing village we've built. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor carriage, and not a lot of houses, or a lot of people. My kids are long gone, searching for treasure. So are others. Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us?
Or could someone stay around here?
Most people here are trying to leave. That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I've got a free room in the shack.
I don't know if I can afford another place to
I
stay.
won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM.
We got a free room? There's this guy Gart who makes me give him money every night.
That's exactly how they get ya. That's why we built our own cinder block houses on the seaside. So we don't have to give money to those crooks. We might not look like much, but they are ours.
Why isn't anyone using it?
My kids grew up and left like they do. The house is long empty now. I live in the small side attachment. It's easier and cheaper to keep warm.
You got yourself a tenant.
Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the police.
Well, if you are not in the hostel in the morning, I know where to find you. Here, in a shack.
What's wrong, Kim? You don't want to stay here?
Just us. It's barely a village anymore. We almost don't exist. This is pretty much a non-place. A gap. A blank spot on the map. Just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street.
Is there a way to make a little money around here?
Here? For you? No, officer. The only money we have here is some coins the drunks tried hiding from their women and then forgot about.
I know all about
On
that.
carts, boats, in little boxes. It's not hard to find.
Anyone else live
Well,
here?
there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks live in the house to the east, but they're away right now. And then there's the drunks. Not a pretty sight, but there's little we can do about it. Home is home, even for them.
What
Sooner or
drunks?
later, you'll see for yourself. Don't have to look long to find these guys.
Well, the rec room?
Over there, you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees growing wild. That's the pox.
Between here and Jamrock, a dusty sea of old trees, all covered in industrial soot. Small houses under them, an overgrown park.
An old military hospital and its surroundings.
Oh, okay.
Or it used to be, during the time of the suzerain. After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shock veterans and folks looking for some quiet in the old sanatorium gardens. Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets and makeshift cinder block houses, shacks as far as the eye can see. The goodwill ran out. The staff left and the place was shut down.
Oh.
It's long gone by now.
She nods, rinsing another piece of cloth.
What's further down
Not
the coast?
much. There's the abandoned church, the DeLorean Church of Humanity. It's been there since before my time, even.
Yo, the DeLorean?
Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around. Who'd go to church here? They built it 300 years ago. Must have been nicer then.
So, they don't hold services there anymore? The Ecclesiastes?
No, we've tried, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things. The place never stays open. It's a pity. It used to be such a nice church.
What's on further down?
Before you get to the church, there's some ruins, an apartment complex, or some kind of electrical plant. Run-down bunch of houses, empty.
Well, which is it?
I don't know exactly. A pre-war place. It used to be something. Before the war. I wasn't here then, you know. Was born in Samara.
Anything else?
Of note? The old fish market up on the boardwalk. But it's closed.
That's it?
What? You're one of those real estate people with big plans? If you want a development opportunity, you can check out the abandoned building over at Land's End. Used to be a supply depot.
A supply
we think,
depot?
Sending goods and ammo across the bay. It's jammed shut though. We tried to get in, see if there was anything to sell or scavenge, but it's impossible. And now you know everything there is to know about this coast.
Who are you?
Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking. And my married name is Sadie. Now it's your turn, Mr.
My name is Raphael Ambrosius Casto.
What a handle you got there. So many titles. One of them double.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 4.
Should I get her signature?
The policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
Although she may kick me out if she reads it. She'll be dead soon.
The door has seen better days. The layer of paint has started to peel off due to the salt and wind from the sea. Even the lock looks slightly rusted.
I'll wait outside to give you some time and privacy to check out your new living arrangements. But just so you know, after we are done with the day, I'll still be staying in the whirling in rags for the night. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
The key turns with a satisfying click. You can enter the shack now.
What all I got in here?
On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small hand mirror. A straight razor soaks inside the wash basin.
Oh no, I kind of like it.
The water reflects back a vague image of your face. Nose bulbous and red, hair unkempt, wrinkles lining the eyes and forehead. The stash is gigantic. You'll be looking like a pansy without the chops. A fucking pansy.
You're right.
A fresh start looms ahead. Clean yourself up and be born anew.
I'll look cool.
A brisk coastal wind still howls against the window of the shack. Occasionally, the waves crawl in under the foundation, producing a low hum. The room feels muffled, like you pulled your hat over your ears. Outside, it is cold and windy, but you're inside, and it feels safe and warm.
What is this place to you?
I could live
Waves
here.
crash onto the beach, drowning the reeds. Far to the south, a congregation gathers to a soup kitchen in a shelter for the homeless. An old woman gives out knitted scarves for free. This could have been you. This could still be you. A down on his luck nobody, trying to survive.
Thank you, strange sensation.
Outside, the howl of the wind has picked up. The waves crash against the stilts again. It's as if you think the thought, but in someone else's voice.
Look under the floorboards.
That's odd.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see the reflection of your face in it, adorned with the expression.
Logic. What do I need more? I think I need visual calculus a bit more. Now, how would I go about looking under the floorboards? I guess I go under the house. It should be in the house. We do got the frog hat. We got pretty high perception. Cool boot shoes perception go up. Oh. Now that we've acquired some footwear, now we're styling. Yeah, we do gotta come back later. Bucket. Bucket. Guy.
Hi, officer. Anything I can help you with?
Oh, she got a sword?
A fishing village on the seashore. This place doesn't really have a name. It's sometimes called Elysium. The sign on the street leading here is illegible. Has been since they built this place. The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions, and that was actually the second one.
Indeed, you're always confused as to your whereabouts.
Damn. I'm looking for someone.
Let's see. Who are you looking for?
I'm looking for a working class husband.
Yeah, I'm not really looking for that anymore. Not much into the middle class ones either. Could do with some landed gentry, but apparently they don't make those anymore.
The husband isn't for me.
Wish I could help you with that, but I haven't seen your working class husband. Maybe I can help you find someone else.
How about a cryptozoologist?
I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate?
People who look for animals mainstream scientists deny exist.
Aha! Like snowmen. Two old guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking nonsense about snowmen and the like.
The like?
Right. Not only snowmen, also green men, monkey men burning rhinos. You get the picture.
Where are they?
Don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you looking for besides snowmen?
That's about it.
Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
Nice sword.
Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks, mostly.
Do you know how to use
Not
it?
really. I know some basic moves, and I know it sure as hell beats a knife when you're in a tough spot.
But not when you're in a tight spot.
It is imposing.
It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe. Nothing fancy, just for intimidation. From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time.
Can I borrow it?
No, I'm afraid not. Tempting to confiscate the blade I used to keep these animals in check would put me in an early grave. What makes you think we haven't? The truth is that almost everyone in this life is scared and tired and stupid and too dull for that. That goes for men too. But they put on an act for us. Pretend like everything's good and living in shit doesn't bother them. Like anyone falls for that.
That does not go for real men. It does not go for you. Show her. Show her the wonder. Coach means the expression.
Oh. Behold. Do you like it?
Sure. It looks as if you could face down any horror in the world with that same unchanging grin. It's like a shield.
The traces of her laughter are still there, in her eyes, fading fast.
It's where all the
Some went
men.
to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. And one of them, I ended up marrying. Guess I enjoyed the way he bled.
If it is, then why the melancholy?
Where is he? Lillian is the only NPC in the game who likes her smile. Aww.
Gone.
Gone where?
To the waves. The sea took him. It was a long time ago. He didn't respect the sea. Went out there, drunk like a skunk, and sure enough, one day the boat was found floating empty. The bloated corpse turned up 2 weeks later. Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I've moved on.
There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with sinewy muscles.
She really likes those muscles, though. It's in the way she pronounces sinewy.
Yeah, death is nothing. I shit on death.
I don't. But us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. I buried him, mourned for an appropriate amount of time, and
You're
went
pretty.
on.
Thank you.
Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
This is neither a touchy nor a very interesting topic for her. She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, better drunk. Ask her. Both of you could need some action.
Very low. Kim's presence makes it awkward. Don't know a good spot yet.
Sure is. The sun, I call her, coated with a fresh layer of tar just yesterday. It'll take some time for it to dry, assuming the sunny days continue. Aye. Sunny days. You got a problem with that?
No, ma'am. We have no quarrel with sunny days.
Good. It would have been bad news had it turned out it wasn't a sunny day. Bad news for the skiff, bad news for the nets, bad
For the
news for the
Mets.
kids.
There's a moment's silence. She looks at the rain streaming down the yellow belly of the boat.
When do you think he'll be ready?
In time, when the sea turns and the winds settle, she will be ready.
Waves wash the sand. A skiff moves across the mirror-smooth sea, far away from here. A lone passenger, a fast sloop in the distance. White sails.
Mr. Everard is helping me displace my neighbors. Oh, I just missed it. Goofy woman. Sneef. Mr. Everard is a beautiful man and a hero for the working class. Plus 4 XP. Cheese. Oh, tin. Money, cheese. Ooh. Free trash.
A drop in temperature, an easy flow of air, an empty street. Before you, a thoroughfare unjammed with lorries. No
Thank
more
you, some
drivers
playa.
smoking on hitch steps.
Mwah.
Just silence.
I'm sorry the sound effect didn't play. Big kiss.
Chemically sweetened. Across the road, a forgotten bus.
You're pretty.
Corrosion has opened a hole in its roof.
Thank you.
An elm tree watches over the building. Its branches are dripping with rain and snow. The road is smooth and motley. Craters filled with a black asphalt. The asphalt, first laid, is grey already. A row of tenements are under construction in the distance. A tub warm with water, white with soap. A man bathes while radio waves transmit the lottery numbers. 4, 18, 21, 4, 1.
Accurate.
A modern washing machine rattles a drawer full of silverware. Number 312D. Young girls used to come here, huddled up, hoping for more warmth than their thin coats give them. The bus took them to school. It has not run for 8 years. There were not enough girls to sustain its cost.
We need more girls.
Craters pocked the surface. Children played in them until heavy trucks full of black pitch rolled in. The landowners have filled the craters with money. It is a vital artery of the flow of trade. There's one bump on the road, A dead dog lies flat about 200 paces away, right at the turn.
No.
Tragedy comes from the wheels of a fast RCM vehicle, hurrying to work. The cold washes over you. The sound of the sea has grown distant.
Oh.
The wind moves the aerosol. A detective stands behind the boom barrier. A breeze moves a curl of his hair.
What's giving us -1 savoir faire? Oh, our pants. Kind of a pussy out kind of look. Doctors are idiots, buddy boy. Okay, before we talk to the group here. Don't call Abigail.
The noxious odor emanating from the drunken man is strong and familiar.
Don't you call her? Yeah! Don't call Abigail!
Who's Abigail?
Abigail. Don't you fucking call Abigail.
Never thought you'd see such a thing in your life. But this guy's a little too drunk.
What's your name?
Don't call Abigail!
What is this place?
The man hiccups, then mumbles something unintelligible. He snorts and beckons you to lean in closer.
Don't call Abigail. Don't call Abigail.
I demand you answer my questions.
There's no use in yelling at drunks. He's barely holding it together.
The drunk man starts coughing a really disgusting, hacking cough. He does not sound well at all.
Don't you fucking call her! Hear me? Abigail? Don't call.
Ooh.
There was little chance he'd be a reliable witness anyway.
What about Mario?
Good to see you, friend. Do I have deals set up for you, buddy boy?
Good to see you too, friend.
So what do you want? I got smokes. They're cheap. Very cheap. I got Pilsner. Great deal. You won't get a better deal on that piss. Spirits I can let go for 300 real. I also have speed. And by speed, I mean amphetamine.
Oh. I do have some pretty low intellect. I'm pretty good on motorics. I don't actually need a methamphetamine.
My kind of guy. Here you go, friend.
Why does a bottle of spirits cost $300?
See, friend, it's real valuable. Worth every real, if you catch my drift. Got it from a bit of a business venture.
All can buy spirits for $300.
You know what's crazy, actually?
He's finding it difficult to focus his watery gaze.
What do you think was crazy?
This guy.
Where did you get it from?
No, this is medicinal spirits. The good stuff. Got it from the doctor's office. I got one of those scientific ampules a few months ago. Torpedo, they call it. It's supposed to keep a man from taking a drink. Didn't stop me for shit, that's for sure. 5 lemons with half a pack of butter and you're good to go. It really isn't. In a week, the goddamn kidneys started giving me all kinds of help. Finally, the missus took me to a private doctor's office. Not a charity, the real thing. Those arseholes charged me £4 to remove the damn thing. But I came out on top after all.
Assholes.
But the idiots left me alone in there. Now, I used to teach high school biology. I know what doctors use to preserve dead things. It's like 3 cans of this blue medicinal stuff from the back room. Threw the snakes out and voila! What's left is this beautiful blue stuff. 98.7% almost pure alcohol.
That'll make you blind, Dan.
2 I already sold to these fine gentlemen here. But this last one is yours for 3 real, if you want it.
Don't say it.
I think it'll prove
3
useful.
real and it's yours, friend. The deal of a lifetime.
Well done. You got it.
Here you go.
Just make sure to enjoy that one, friend.
Son, you will not kill yourself with this. Not today. So we're going to store this as a sellable item. Go sell it at the pawn shop for a profit.
In the civilized world, it's a custom to tip the shopkeep, friend. But come back anyway.
So there's this game over state. Oh no, can you drink it if you like don't know? If you're that much of a drunk? We don't just drink it. Destroy your liver speedrun. You butt chug it. Oh no!
Hey, tequila!
Idiot Doom Spiral. 2-piece Lycra, trademarked tracksuit.
Good to see you. How's business? How's the whole reality situation treating you? So what's happening?
Right, tequila?
Yeah, Tequila Sunset. How are the, high-concept, reality-based adventures proceeding?
It instantly kills you.
Good. These people know your true name. Looks like it has preceded you, Mr. Sunset. More on that later.
Not too hot. I'm on a 50-year losing streak. Take a sippy.
That's harsh. I'm like 3 or maybe 4 years into mine. Wait, no. Make it 5. Things aren't going super well for Idiot Doom Spiral either. Haven't found those keys yet, haven't won that great piece of ass back. No word from my business buddies.
What do you guys do around here?
We are saving the world.
Please! Please don't go! Don't go!
Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol. That's what we're doing. I tried to save the world once, a long time ago, with enterprise, creativity, and willpower. But that didn't work out. So now, it's a pirate's life for me. It's you. You're Tequila Sunset. We've met before. Don't you remember?
No.
Aha. Do you want to know how Tequila Sunset came to be?
Yes, I do.
Tequila. Tequila Sunset. Something ominous there.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Let me take a sip to moisten up my cords. Tequila Sunset rolled into Martinez last Friday. And by Tequila Sunset, I mean you. The man, the myth.
We met on Friday?
Hey, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. This is your story. Stop interrupting. You got here on Friday to solve a case. hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm. And by the worm, I mean the buzz. Because as far as I know, all you did was get piss drunk. Word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people that you're a police officer, and that it would be really fucked up if you shot yourself in the head right in front of them. That's pretty high concept, if you ask me.
Oh, that's why it didn't work out with Titus.
Does that sound like something you'd do? Yeah, probably.
Kisses, kisses, kisses.
The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He's listening as casually as he can.
What happened
It
then?
was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, were getting our drink on. Nothing remarkable about this. We get our drink on 24/7. Makes everything warm and glowy. I trust you know the feeling. One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage revving up somewhere on the plaza, followed by a series of dings and bangs.
Do you remember the sound of wood cracking? The billboard?
Naturally, loud noises pique the interest of anybody owning a pair of ears. That's just the reality we're in.
Naturally.
Anyway, there was a brief silence. A gasp of silence, if you will. Followed by a real commotion. We heard the carriage careening towards the coast at top speed. Sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed our brewskis and rushed to the jetty. Never underestimate the speed of an alcoholic. What we saw was a sight to behold. A beat-up police carriage containing you. Right there on the beach. You revved the engine and screamed at the top of your lungs, "The time hath come!"
Yeah!
So, naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked what time.
The time hath come.
To which you replied, "The time hath come for tequila sunset, the end of all things."
Every word I said was true.
Yeah, lose. Why not? Then you jammed the pedal and plowed right off the jetty and through the ice.
Your hands cramped on the steering levers.
We ran towards the ice whilst you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt, covered in seaweed and shit, like some kind of sea monster. When we finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. You said that your badge and uniform were in the car. It was too late to get in there, though. The carriage had sunk too deep. Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our condolences and invited you to party with us, which you naturally agreed to.
What else was there to do? Thank you, brothers, for your helping hand.
Thank you.
We asked about the whole tequila sunset thing, and you told us it was your name now and insisted that we all call you that from then on.
I'm Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau.
Nah, that name sucks. You're Tequila Sunset. Just embrace it, brother. Ours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then, at some point, I think it was Sunday morning, you got belligerent and wanted to talk about Revacholian women.
Let's talk about women.
How they're beautiful
Oh, no.
and also whores, and so on. How one of them fucked you real bad. After a short while, you crossed the event horizon, looked sullen, got up, and left without saying anything.
Wow, that's quite a story.
Yeah, I bet Tequila's a fucking legend around the precinct. You must be proud to work with him.
If you only knew.
Did I tell you anything specific about this person that fucked me?
You were pretty vague about it, but you kept saying you got fucked real hard, and that we've all been fucked too.
Please, don't open that door.
Uh-oh.
No one's fucked me. I do the fucking around here.
Alright, touchy subject.
Abigail.
It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, I'd say you're still working through
Don't
some
call
shit.
Abigail. Did I mention losing
Beside
anything
your
else?
gun and your badge, you said something about your hope or heart or something. To be honest, the details are a little hazy. In retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage too? That's a big one.
May I say anything about my
You
colleagues?
told us that they were a bunch of fucking losers whose main interest was cramping your style. No specifics, though. It was more about you that night. You were the star of the show.
What about the case?
Yeah, you said it was no biggie and that you'd solve it in no time. And that you didn't need anyone to do it. You're doing it solo now.
A lot of cops go solo and hermit once they reach that level of alcoholism.
What about politics?
Yeah, you kept talking about how the coal mine owners were fucking us all over, just like that woman fucked you. I didn't agree with you, by the way. The spectral hand of the market makes sure everyone gets exactly what they deserve.
What the fuck? Homeless capitalist.
You kept calling yourself a goddamn superstar who'd cleared 501 cases.
As you've already determined, the actual number is just over 200. But what's a little embellishment between friends?
No thanks to the squares at the precinct, as you put it. It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs.
You seem like you're characterized by your storytelling ability.
Whoop-de-doo. So now I'm a fucking storyteller. Right. Why not? Better than a beach bum. It depends, really. Are you willing to help me out?
The gleam in his eyes and the slouch in his posture is so incredibly familiar.
You want booze,
I
don't you?
don't want it, man. I need it. Can't tell stories without it. Dry stories are boring, you see? So, have you got anything for good old idiot Doom Spiral? A bottle for a story. Seems fair to me.
I could give it the dye juice.
In that case, I'm not a storyteller. You too, Tequila Sunset.
I've learned so much. Damn, Kim's gonna beat me there. I'm sorry, I just can't get those boys to sign the paper.
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
You can revisit the bench.
That's from the lady. Centrist prance. It would help me get some savoir-faire back. But I already have 4. I could use some drama. Well, I'll lose out on my inland empire. Drama theater kid. Combined with insane mesh tank top for more drama. I don't know if my logic can take the hit, but we're doing it anyway. Seems the walker was either very confused or drunk out of his mind. No looking in there. I have a thought over here? No, it's fine. Dead end over here. We've explored about half the coast. The music collection. We have music. We're swimming in dough, Kim.
Rust peels off the bent iron posts of the swing. The wind whistles through the skeleton of the small house behind you. There's desolation everywhere.
In this yard? Someone thought they could have a summer house in a bloc obscure, for cheap. It didn't work out. They abandoned it about a decade ago. A black bloc, a part of the city left unrenovated after the war, or one that has fallen to gang violence, or has become inhospitable in some other way. Practically, it's not an official term in any way, but look around. No sewage, broken power lines, crime, drums. Life is tough in the blocks. It's no place to build a summer house.
If they has some music behind.
Yes, and you picked it up as part of the Jamrock Shuffle.
It's not meant as nagging, just an observation.
We should move. I don't think we will solve the murder with forays into the urban hinterland, at least in this phase of the investigation.
There's no way to listen to the tape without a working
There it is!
Or
the song!
Hand. A pawn shop would have a tape player.
could buy the tape player and start blasting music. I think there's a lot of coast I'm missing here. I can go in here. Wait, what's this? A primer for small kids. The letter S is dangerously dangling from the cart. E fell off a long time ago.
You hold in your hand the colorful primer. The title reads, "A primer for small kids." There's a bear involved.
Exactly what I needed.
This book will show you the score. Get you oriented with those basic concepts you appear to be hazy on. The anthropomorphic bear will give you the lowdown of your life. The alphabet. Every page has one word designating one letter of the alphabet with a faded illustration. Most of them are scientific and cultural principles. It goes as follows.
Let's do this.
A is for azimuth. B is for Boreas. C is for cosine. D is for diamite. E is for ellipse. F is for phlogiston. G is for gamete. H is for homeboy.
Homeboy.
I is for econ. J is for Eura. K is for collapse. L is for laudanum. M is for myriad. N is for nadir. O is for aureole. P is for perihelion.
Yeah.
Q is for quasar. R is for rhododendron. S is for sinus. T is for tricolor. U is for ultra. V is for vector. W is for Wahrheit. X is for xylophone. Y is for Ustava. Z is for zenith.
That's it?
That's it. You know the alphabet now.
Kim, I have great news.
Good. I also know the alphabet.
It is a very useful skill to have, he thinks, for all sorts of life activities like reading and...
I'll just take that.
Hello, mister.
Little.
She clutches a small stuffed animal. Occasionally, she twirls it around.
Yes, I am. Little Lily. You know my mom? That's nice. My mom is great. She's never angry or anything. Yes. They don't want to play with me. They're older and play outside. They look the same. Sometimes I can't tell them apart.
Look identical, right? I said the same thing.
They look identical.
What's this?
It's a grouse.
Grouse!
You might be able to get on Gart's good side if you replace the broken scooter you almost certainly broke.
What's it for?
I don't know.
Can I have it?
Sure. I mean, you already took it. I don't like it anyway. It looks angry. It's Lammy. He's my friend. Sort of. Like...
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing, and the fur is tattered in several parts.
Yes. Very soft.
I don't deserve it. I'm scum.
Isn't he soft?
Healed morale.
Bye!
If you ask they want ice cream, both of them say yes. Mazut. If you say I don't deserve it, Kim sternly says, press your damn cheek against that doll. Kim is so in love with us, it makes him look stupid. You can hear it chirp. Great. Great. I need to stop holding down shift. Haha, someone crashed their car. Quick travel unlocked. Church. When did we get quick travel? Kick drum pulse. Hey, someone left alcohol. Yeah! I haven't seen hide nor hair of the cryptozoologists.
You're eating but out of house and home. Garden field.
Maybe these are them.
A pane of Eternite has been planted into the snow. 2 poles are holding it up. Barely holding it up. It could fall over any minute. A stronger gust of wind might be enough.
It looks like a makeshift bridge. Could be convenient.
The pane falls into the icy snow with a soft thunk.
Yeah!
We should ask that girl on the ice what's going on here.
A shaggy-looking girl in her late teens or early 20s kneels on the ice with an electronic contraption in her hand. Hearing you approach, she looks up.
Oh. Hello there.
Hello.
It's cold out here, but she's not wearing a hat. She must
gotta wear a hat.
Everyone knows drugs make you invulnerable to cold. You bet this one likes to party.
Where's your hat?
Huh?
Maybe she didn't hear you. A little louder.
I swear, that thing is evil. Raphael Ambrosius Costu is fixing to lose a finger.
So should you.
You don't have to do anything.
I should, and I do.
Oh. I didn't notice that. Yeah, well... Look, man, fuck the hat.
Your pulse rises.
I'm sorry I said fuck the hat. I was concentrating on something else. My whole family swears and it rubbed off on me.
What's your name?
Estelle.
Her hair is dyed blonde, with dark roots showing. There's a coarseness to her features.
Failing that check goes
some
places. All.
Below that timidness.
I should have went for it.
Okay, it's Burger. This is a portable recording device. It's for field recording. Low quality, but still. Actually, just one wire. I picked on it till the braiding came loose. The wire leads to a contact microphone.
What's a microphone?
A contact mic records sounds from inside things, like this ice.
Nice. You could maybe bug someone with it. Wiretapping.
Same place I got the recorder from, the Elysium. Oh man, you haven't been to the Elysium? It's the coolest place in this whole drug-addled shithole. It's a music club and a synthesizer workshop on Boogie Street in Jamrock. Musicians live there, like real musicians. I once saw Arno van Eyck.
Sounds like a place for congregating homosexuals.
Oh yeah, guess you wouldn't know Van Eyck. Or really be a Elysium-going kind of person.
Hey, I get down.
I don't know what that means.
I grind.
I don't know what that means either.
It means I have concrete evidence that I rock.
That's cool. Sucks, man. Was there something else? About the contact mic, perhaps?
How does that thing work?
The mic? I don't exactly know. Somehow it doesn't pick up vibrations from the air. The book said it only picks up structure-borne sound, if you like technobabble. Okay. Recording, I guess. I think I'm recording cracks in the ice, but there's no way to tell. Not without headphones. I think I just recorded your footsteps too. Not sure how that will sound.
What happened to the old headphones?
Himbo Cousteau failed to remember. Contact Mike, the greatest pugilist the world ever seen.
My boyfriend sold them.
What for?
I don't know, man. Things. Just stuff you need for life.
A lie. They were probably pawned off for something suspicious.
Suspicious.
The musicians in the Elysium used them for making music. They looped the stuff, cutting the tapes together. They make music out of cracks in the ice and keys jangling. Crazy sounds like that. It's hard to explain. Anyway,
I've listened to a noise album.
I thought I'd make some too. It's supposed to be, like, a music place anyway. I don't really know what I'm doing. They use synthesizers too. I don't have a synthesizer.
Take this, you're cold.
No man, fuck that, I'm cool. I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry about the fuck.
It's okay.
She's not getting my frog hat.
That? The boys think it could be a place, like the Elysium or something. Stupid. It's really not gonna be a Elysium, that's for sure.
And who are these boys?
Yeah, Andre and the guys, they're inside, in the tent.
And why is that?
They got too much stuff crammed in there, no room.
What?
Music stuff mostly. Like this tape recorder, but bigger. And there's piles of it. Yep, they were pretty. I'm sorry we sold those. That stuff is more expensive than I am. More expensive than any of us, really. Doesn't matter, I can take the cold. Yeah, maybe you were right about the hat. Go ahead. It's supposed to become like a club.
Club.
For anodic dance music. Like that new style of synthesizer stuff they play at the Elysium. Except that, yeah.
The floorboards are twisting, and the shooting beams are slowly cracking, like bones. Far east of the Golden Delta, beyond the industrial port, there is a black patch of unlit coast with the smallest creatures on the ice. There will never be a club for anodic music here. Not in a million years.
You know, anodic, cathodic, music that's made with electronic instruments. Synthesizers and tape consoles, microcomputers too. Anything that uses electricity, but isn't guitars. Also found sounds, stuff like that.
You want to make the church into a club?
I know. It's not my idea. Andre and the boys found the place. It was supposed to be deserted, but now they can't even take it. Hey, don't get me wrong, but you're cops, right?
Why, yes.
Okay, well, maybe you could talk to Andre and the guys, because there are some strange things going on in that church. If you're police, you should look into it, right?
I'll talk to
They're
him.
inside that thing there. Would be cool if you did. Was there something else?
Stylophone.
Go ahead.
Let's try it.
The device is cold to the touch. An angular Omicron logo adorns the yellow plastic cover. Underneath, you see a reel of tape rolling. You put the device back on the ice.
Okay, bye.
The tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open. Inside, 3 young men are listening to some new form of music. It's like nothing you've ever heard.
Whoa.
One of them looks at you.
Come on, get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out.
What the fuck?
Sorry, we barely have room for one.
You go ahead. I'm too old for this.
I'm actually not, he thinks. I just dislike delinquents.
I'm sure you will feel right at home. I'll keep watch.
We'll show him!
Smells like sweat and laundry detergent. They got 3 people in here.
You see a youngish man bleaching
Yeah!
of his hair with a toothbrush. He puts the toothbrush down and extends his hand in greeting.
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
His grip is strong, sweaty, and warm. He's trying to project and inspire confidence.
This is my posse, Noid.
Yo, Noid?
The young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously.
Look at that neck.
And Egghead.
An egghead. Egg!
Together with a Cell Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation, we like to think of ourselves as music venue organisers.
How many music venues have you organized?
We have many in the pipeline, officer. You see, we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish a new venue in.
Also for talent.
For talent.
Yeah, thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the real estate part.
Place is a shithole.
I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues.
This place is
Which
pretty
brings
bad.
me to the problem of occupied ecclesiastical property. I bet you've noticed the derelict hive of narcomania on the coast.
What are you talking
I'm
about?
talking about the church. And I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge can become a magnet for all sorts of dopeheads and burnouts if left unattended.
Dopeheads.
Dopeheads.
Burnouts. Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on the map with one of the maddest dance clubs in Jamrock. Nah, strike that, in Revachol.
Strike that! The world!
Whoa.
And sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts hold up in there at the
Egghead
worst
is my
time.
favorite character. He reminds me of that video of, like, Eastern European DJs in the 90s. I've got a wacky idea. World peace!
He leans back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze, letting you imagine just how bad those dopeheads and burners really are.
Everyone is crazy dancing tonight!
Good. This calls for an opinion. You're an expert in those.
No narcomaniacs on my watch.
Yes, and the worst part is, they're also spooky.
What do you mean by
I was
spooky?
hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is, their spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring this church into a community centre and a place of spiritual refuge. Also, they don't eat or clean the building. Shit's gonna collapse.
People just want to spin tapes without them spooking it up. Place has bad signs. No one can dance like that.
Thank you, Egghead. So you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter. Getting them out. Whatever spooky stuff they're doing, I'm sure it's not what the Ecclesiastes meant their property for.
Tell me more.
All right, man.
Andre's obviously very happy you took him seriously. The whole tent is. The boys exchanged giddy looks.
I asked Noid to install a measure against more drifters wandering in. A padlock. It's a temporary fix. Just something to contain the situation.
I had to do it in an hurry. Not my best work, but it should hold for a while.
Of course. Noid, give the officer the key.
All right.
Be the cool cop.
You sense the
Yeah!
trajectory of the little piece of metal and plastic. The object makes a small ringing sound as it approaches. Just the tiniest chime to your left. Ka-ching! The key hits your palm. The speed freaks nod to you approvingly.
Thanks,
the
man.
Speed freak nods to you. A respectful nod. You proved something here.
How long has people been
Not
there?
long. Like a week, maybe?
This is cool.
Thank you. We just thought it was the right thing to do. Sure, man. Tell us what you want to know. Let's do it. Truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even know how many there are. All we've seen are glimpses.
You haven't seen them?
Well, there's also the machinery. When I first scouted the place, back in February, it was abandoned, empty. Took some time getting the crew together. So about 2 weeks ago, we came here hoping to set the stuff up. Suddenly, there are all these strange machines lying around in there.
One of them has wires running into bowls of water. Wires into water.
What
Never
the
seen
fuck?
anything like it. Andre, tell him about the feeling.
Oh, and it felt like there was something in there with us, watching us from the dark.
No, the other one.
Which other one? I'm not as in tune with my emotions as you are, Egg.
Felt like silence. Awful silence.
Not exactly. We've just seen someone who we think is a woman go in and out of the church. A couple of times. And we felt someone or something eyeing us inside. But that's kinda it.
Silence. Ominous. What was the thing
we
watching you?
weren't alone, you know?
It wasn't quite human, if you know what I mean.
Non-human means a predator.
It was this dark shape climbing upside down along the ceiling, like some kind of crabman.
Crabman?
Yeah, you know, the way it was climbing up and around the ceiling, like a crab.
It was stalking a cell, exhibiting ambush behavior.
Ambush behavior.
Crabman!
Crabman!
Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't personally see it. Estelle was alone that time, but I believe her. If she comes out running and says there's a crab in there, there's a crab in there.
So he hasn't even been in there lately. Is he afraid?
Are you afraid?
You should ask her about it, but be nice. Don't tell her you don't believe in the crab.
What about the
You should
machinery?
talk to Noid about that. I just got a distinct burnout and dopehead sign from them. Probably jacked up to some snuff station too. Probably, very likely.
With a small surge of PEA, alertness fills you. As if to say, this is a dark corner. Look behind it.
It means like one of those rich boy private radio stations, where you can listen to people getting killed on, then jerk off to it. Sick shit.
Oh.
Not that we would know anything about that. Noid just likes to relay stuff.
He appears sincere enough, sire. You could, of course, be wrong.
We're getting derailed here. In short, you can tell to Noid about the machines. He'll tell you more. Well, honestly, I can't, but I am.
Why not? Let's go with that.
I don't see a single thing wrong with that argument.
I'm 70% sure they're substance users. Don't let the technology fool you. Sure. What? Oh yeah, That's a Meteoran name for the founding party. Thought it'd be cool to use it.
Oh, can you refresh my memory?
Come to think of it, I've never really looked them up, you know. I can't give you a precise definition, but they're a very powerful religious organisation.
Oh, okay.
And they have roots in ancient mass society. And they're the custodians of the Pericanassian Church. Plus, they anoint the innocents. They, like, made the Innocentic system, no?
That sounds like exactly the kind who will allow anodic music in their church.
You're right, they do.
The Pericanassian Church is about love. And Nordic music is about love.
Love.
I got love for my Pericanassian posse. Love is the relay out of death. We dance. Love is hardcore.
Hardcore.
Unity. Unity.
Make some noise for my Insulindian posse.
Hardcore.
You feel it. The anodes and the cathodes coursing through you. Your big toe starts tapping along to the base, as if testing the waters. Feels good.
Oh yeah, it can.
He's coming around. You're getting it.
Yeah! Yakokata, the place to be.
Do it for the masses.
I like how we're jamming
Do
over
it
here.
For the crew.
I didn't want to say it, but it was pretty lame of you to imply otherwise. Anyway, you got more questions?
The one with the large head is still looking at you, nodding his head, waiting for your body to start moving. You feel like you could go for a little disco when, or if they get this club going. You've got it in you.
Yes. What?
What's the engine fluid for?
It's for starting engines, man.
Is the amiable speed freak becoming a bit cross with you? Sounds like it.
What's with the goddamn Romangarod earrings? It's cold. The fluid's for the generator.
Keep on it, sire.
Yes. What? Yeah. Good to have, bitch to carry. When I first scouted the place, I did some reconnaissance. I'm not sure the church even has running water. Oh. It's the one they sell at the fuel station.
It's like he's lying to you, my liege. But he's slippery enough that there's nothing for you to grab hold of. He nods enthusiastically, no doubt a little relieved.
I don't have enough logic in my brain for that.
As always, we'll be right here, waiting.
But I can try.
So, how are things going?
Okay, so the speed freaks want to start a club for dance music. That much checks out. Youths like music. You feel as though you might have liked music more when you were young, too. But you digress. Indeed, so one of them came upon the abandoned church. They want to turn it into a club for dance music, but agents of narcomania have overrun it. You shudder to think of all the narco they must have already consumed in there. Narco is bad. Plus, and it has to be considered, you can't invent the future of dance music in this smelly old tent. Imagine if you had the church. That settles it. Analysis complete. Their story checks out.
As always, we'll
Gotta
be
admit, they're
here,
right.
Waiting patiently for the news. Yeah.
A young man with peroxide blonde hair holds up a Harman Waushi tape player, nodding along to the music. He looks at you with a knowing smile and says,
Hardcore!
Is it?
It's hardcore!
You're just gonna keep saying it's hardcore, aren't you?
Skibbity, skibberdanger. I am the rearranger.
Could there have been a right way out of this garden of forking paths, you think?
Solve the egghead puzzle.
The young man...
This is hardcore. Hardcore! Hardcore to the mega. Internally coherent. car! All right! Yeah!
Words hurt worse than if someone throws.
He furrows his brow as
I've been given a piece of pie.
Traces the sublime, invisible movement of the music in the very real air of the stuffy tent.
Hardcore! Ah!
So hardcore. It
What
is.
is it? I mean, really.
I was thinking
I am
that
the
too.
mic enforcer. I am the chick's checker. Yeah!
Oop. I got close.
Back to the heavyweight. Hardcore! Hardcore! Hardcore to the meg. Internally
Lasagna.
coherent. All car! All right! Yeah!
He furrows.
Hardcore!
Is it though? But is it? I mean, really.
Under the radar. They're close. True, hard, full, car. Hardcore! Hardcore to internally all car.
He furrows his.
Hardcore! Ah!
Is it though?
One mind, one spirit. We're close.
We can do this.
Hardcore, hardcore, internally. All car, all right.
He furrows.
Hardcore.
The question is, what is the question?
What is the question? That's a YouTube poop quote.
But there was no question.
We're close. True. Hardcore. Hardcore to the internally coherent. Good morning, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeko kata. The place to be. It's the message, so listen and you will see. We're close. True. Hardcore. Hardcore. Internally all car. All right.
He furrows.
Hardcore. Ah.
The question is, what is the... But there was a question?
Hardcore.
Close. True. Hardcore. Hardcore to the mega. Internally coherent. All car. Up. Gotta get the people going.
Why?
I'm the party boy. It's my job.
I think I'm also
Two
a
on
party
track.
boy.
Watch your back. Watch out for the heart attack. We're close. True. Hardcore. Internally all car.
He furrows.
Hardcore.
Is it though? But is it? I mean, really. No, but
Infinity
seriously,
Unlimited
what
Flame!
is it?
The skin on your back is crawling. For a second, you can't even hear the music anymore. There is a hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gilles Lane, right next to the canal. Don't be alarmed. Everything is okay. He isn't actually worried. Everything is still super hardcore. What he probably means is, it could be even more so.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm still in love with the hardcore.
Sorry for eating a pie midstream.
Sometimes I just feel like anodic music is in its infancy, you know? For example, take this Arno van Eyck jam I've been pumping for the last month, and will continue pumping for the rest of 51. Isn't something holding it back from being hyper?
I know all about that.
It's like it's only ultra.
Oh.
I think it's super hardcore, but you're right. It's not hyper hardcore.
It's only ultra.
Isn't it? I knew it. But how could it become harder core? I know the answer in my heart, but cannot think it in my head. If this is not hyper, how could anything be?
Wait, I just remembered something. I'm the police.
Uh-huh. Oh. No! This is the answer! What? Guys, there's something happening in his head.
Think even harder.
Oh yeah! He's doing it!
My imagination fails me.
No, so does mine.
But there's something else that hasn't failed you.
Yeah!
Well, now that we're an expert on hypnotic music...
No
This is a place of
the
soap.
Trans Nation! No war! The class war!
Yo!
He's not a communist. It's just something he likes to yell. He picked it up from a tape jockey at the Elysium. She was a communist, though.
Yeah! With the rebel yell!
Why not?
I could be a communist! If you want that, do you want me to be a communist?
Yes!
Please don't turn him into a communist.
Oh yeah, turn him into a communist. Come on, it would be super.
I guess he's a communist now.
Don't be a lunatic. Of course he isn't. Jermaine here just yells random things. Odds are, sooner or later one of them will come off as fault reading.
It really is that simple.
Revolution imperative!
Unless you were thinking Revolution imperative right now. Anyway, I've had a similar thing happen with eggs yelling. I know what you mean.
But I was.
That's fucked up, man. Lying like that. And a cop, too.
Oh.
Communism rules the nation!
Almost there.
The worker must move your ass! Here comes the sun!
You could swear you feel
Healed
the bright
morale.
future of the working classes reflected of Jermaine Egghead's giant smile and right onto your face. Revolution makes your toes curl in anticipation.
I was hoping he would get us a higher chance if we made him a communist. Party boy communism so hard it healed us.
You know it in your lungs where the pressure should vibrate. Your heart rate's low. And in your solar plexus where the hits should land.
Move the bumpy ass.
So does every caudate animal.
What? Wow, okay. We should start with the melody. But where would we get that stuff from? I'm sorry, I don't know anything about hypnotic music. I'm just the party boy. I get the people going and say it's hardcore.
It's up to the police to make the beats go harder.
The young man falls silent with appreciation. He even tries to contain his smile, as if it could hinder your investigation.
Basically, what you need to find here is a tape with some banging music on it, so that Egghead could use it to remix Van Eyck's jam.
Yeah, maybe that street hawker across the pawn shop has got some tapes to sell. That's just an idea.
There is a hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gislain, right next to the canal. A reel of magnetic tape is caught in its branches, like bronze ribbons blowing in the wind.
Oh, I know! I know this! I can tell you where it is!
St. G is the boulevard before the canal bridge. The one that takes you to the whirling in rags and the industrial harbour. It's got the lanterns and the...
I knew that! I could have said that!
and the mosaic sidewalk.
But it's all blocked with that stupid traffic jam right now. Anyway.
Does it?
Anyway, that's all yours to figure out, Copman.
Copman!
Our tape right now is a bit of a bummer. I don't think it'll help.
Dark Hard Hardcore!
Your main egghead.
Basically, yes it is.
Lungs are for love. When Dolores Day was anointed innocence, her lungs started glowing through her body. For the world loved her, and she loved it back. Yeah!
Yeah!
Love! In a woman's lungs. Lonely as I am, I'm not afraid. This strange, damaged feeling grows on and on, because I've never loved someone like you before.
A dopamine surge accompanies the words. It feels like electricity flowing down your scalp, dissipated into your neck. Feels good, like a spark of life in that moribund sponge you call your body.
All right! Here comes the night!
So you had a talk with Andre, and now you want to discuss things with Noid. Good. It's good you talked to Andre first. Gave me time to get a reading on your sign. Can't really talk to people before you get a reading.
Why are you called
The
Noid?
hardcore aesthetic is esoteric. It's not meant to be discussed with the law at this moment. I can see that. Further sign matching would do good for us. One way to achieve sign synchronicity would be by getting us into the church. Weird stuff. Specialised. There was a data processor and some sort of long-wave machinery.
Long
Wires
wave.
going into water. Gives off a spy sign. Or some fucked up Samaran science sign. You know, the kind that goes head first into the supernatural.
What do I think of these kids? Well, they're definitely making methamphetamine, but I kind of like them. I trust them. I trust Egghead. He would not steer me wrong.
Nothing's wrong with it. You should definitely be researched. You can still do sick shit with it, though.
Costell has absolutely failed to notice this.
Most of it doesn't exist. But there's also stuff that isn't allowed to exist. Because the moralists think it's too dangerous for the plebs. Psionic powers, pale-related diseases, pretenders pretending to be human, folk rights, that kind of stuff. Yeah, gotta compare. See if we can align.
Plebs.
I suck at socialising, man. Even now, our sign synchronisation is way off. But I'll see what I can do.
Tell me about this crab.
The shaggy-haired girl kneels on the sea ice. She looks up.
Kim waited outside all this time.
So you talked to my associates, right? Are you going to help us? With the church, I mean. Great. Let us know if there's any progress, will ya? We've been waiting for weeks here. Oh, that. You're not going to believe me. There's no point in me telling you. Okay. I went in and I saw a woman next to one of those machines there. Noid calls it a mainframe. She was dressed like someone who's been raised by their grandmother, you know, strange old clothes. Had this absent expression, didn't say anything, just stood still.
That's weird.
And then, you know, right behind her, a man crawled down the wall. Upside down like a crab.
Or like
down
a
the
spider.
church wall. I think the woman didn't even know he was there. He was completely silent. He stopped right before he got to the floor, then just hung there like that, looking at me. Right at me. I fucking turned around and walked out. End of story.
Like a crab, you say?
It was too dark. I couldn't tell exactly.
Like a crab.
Come on. She obviously could. She already went into detail.
Why? Nothing. Anyway, what else? My associates? I haven't got much to say about them. Of course I do. I just don't tell people about my friends and who they are and so on. I don't provide information on them. Me? I'm a silver bird. Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different later, but...
We got our matched vibes with Annoyed. Maybe we should give him our tape. It's a big-ass church. Money, money. Samboon, 1147. Calls become terrible sometimes.
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change. You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable.
Inoperable?
Calling. Still calling. This feels wrong. Should you be doing this? End of tone. Someone picks up.
Pierre, is that you, Pierre? So nice of you to find the time to call me. It gets so lonely. Even the animals have died. Are you sure you're Pierre? Your voice, it's different. There. Chrysanthemum.
Her voice is drowned in white noise. Sounds like waves washing a beach, growing in volume until the call suddenly disconnects.
What the hell?
You get a sinking feeling. It makes you look if Lieutenant Kitsuragi overheard you. To your relief, he did not.
Don't call Abigail.
Calling. Still calling. Someone with a masculine voice picks up.
Hello, Gerard speaking.
What a douche name.
What are you, like 5? Thanks for calling, asshole.
Phone hanging up.
You know who eats that?
Disconnected tone.
Good use of our limited funds. God damn. What the fuck?
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with. You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kitsuragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
What? How do you know our names?
Nice to meet you.
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
He's just making up fancy words. This doesn't mean anything.
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall. No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers. Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into Worms lately.
Worms.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in 08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why?
Aha! But it's not just
I like how we can ask him for money.
What not a lot of people know is, this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Hold on. What's R&D? It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
We're talking to a video essayist.
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development. They don't use it anymore. You're probably more familiar with RTD, Research and Technological Development.
Maya Kalpa, you are not familiar with that one either. This man is a bookhead.
Bookhead.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve. I'm mixing my metaphors here.
What was that
ace? It was
ace?
here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
A tape computer?
Mm-hmm. An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution, revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He assumes something like a combat stance, facing the wind.
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes, possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D. Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
Pleasure wheel?
A pleasure wheel?
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans. Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers, they used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases, the most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars. What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02. It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bombessier dans ce Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get
Find
Mikhail
a
to
copy of
memorize
the
it.
decree.
Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
Worms.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant.
Very elegant.
Exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware. 10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wompty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Hughes joined the team.
Wompty Dumpty Dum Center?
Wait, did he just say Wompty Dumpty Dum Center? He did it. He said Wompty Dumpty Dum Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world. What the hell is a Wompty Dumpty Dum Center? And Guy juiced.
The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Arts.
What?
The exhibition itself.
There it is again, those
Ragamann's
words.
notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to...
There's no place called the Wompty Dumpty Dum Center of Arts.
Actually, I think there is. No, it's too much. He's joking.
In fact, I'm not. The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center.
Wompty Dumpty Dum Center. 42 minutes. Thanks, Kim. This is a pretty good thought. I would like to know what it gives me. Does it give me the ability to mention it like to other people?
But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Every time Encyclopedia speaks to you, gain 10 XP and 2 rail. That is powerful. I need that Wompty Dumpty Dum Center.
Even one would be very useful. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to the precious device. So they did. The Feld playback experiment vanished into the fires of 07. Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the Feld playback experience, but those are incorrect. Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building. But of course, what else?
You have any money?
I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here.
I just want to see my profile skills
I
were
wouldn't have
working.
assumed anything else. Matter of fact,
Yep, -2 suggesting because it makes you a pretentious wanker.
I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the Vespertine Department of Justice has published a rather interesting paper on the criminal profiling in former socialist states. Have you read it?
Uh-oh.
If not, then you definitely should. If not for tips and tricks, then just for theoretical curiosity. Anyway, that's just a little something that sprang to mind. You were saying?
Forget it. They don't sell those kind of books at crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikhail here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years.
We may need to recover our suggestion afterwards. Min-max involves making a beeline to that man.
No, I won't even try. You know, I had a partner once. They called him Eyes, because he had to show me things. It's that bad. Well enough, actually. It's odd how that works. I'm no sharpshooter, but I passed my shooting courses 7 out of 10.
Oh, poor Kim.
Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad. It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth.
Please tell me you're not taking that with you.
Why not?
It's a guano-encrusted jacket, and you're already carrying around enough as it is.
As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound. It's a sordid, filthy tale, not for the weak. Are you sure you can stomach it? Some secrets are better left uncovered. Don't even try. Seriously.
Think about it.
It occurs to you that you're not even holding the jacket itself, but rather the thick crust of jetsam and seagull shit that ensconces it. It smells like a dead sea creature, tangled in grey strands of seaweed. It must have spent quite some time in the water before the tide deposited it ashore.
Gross.
Why? Why did you think about it? Look at your hands. They're covered in muck. Now you're just flicking that shit everywhere. This is a disaster. You'll never get the smell out.
Damn. There's a lot of postcards. Making it rain. Eyesight's so bad you can't even see out of them. Nausea-inducing hell glasses. Balls. Oh yeah, we need the Dick Moment hat. I apologize for the interruption. There's a cat outside? Just a little gray kitty. He's got a collar on. But I don't know who he belongs to. Just hanging out. Kitty. Also, you cannot tell what stats I have over here because the chat's blocking it, I just realized. I mean, he's eating the leftover kitty food out there. I'm sure he's fine. Little fatty.